In this video, I'm going to draw one of my cute little characters. They're called wind elves. And they're not too cutesy because they have these mechanical helmets that they fly around using. So this is just going to be a simple character, and then I'm going to ink it. I'm going to do a rough sketch first. And I'm going to do a basic pencil drawing. And then I'm going to then I'm going to ink it in. The character's just going to be standing there in this case, but I'll talk about the different parts. So I'm just sketching in a basic structure. I'm not even actually worried too much about the details. I'll probably add lots more as I go and adjust things. And what I'm going to do, like I said, is set up the basic structure first. So they all have the same components. They have a light, of course, because they've got to navigate at night. And they have some kind of propeller, most of them. So in this case, I'm going to do a propeller at the back here. It's not spinning. And it's got 4 blades to it. I don't know if this is showing up on the... And then there's a few other elements which I'll talk about as I ink them in. And okay, that's enough to get started. Now I'm going to marker it in with this nice fountain pen. What I have here is it's almost meant to suggest like a flap that could be hinged. I think this would be the hinge, and they can open it when they want to get out of this helmet. The helmet would float by itself, so you kind of wonder, like, how's this small creature got this giant helmet? But the idea is that it would be neutral buoyancy. In other words, it would have its support itself. And I'm going to work around this bit by bit. So he's got a light, like I said. It's like a lamp, you know, for navigating at night. Now, often I add these kind of attachment rings, like it would be if you need to clip on something, like a tow line or something like that. And what I'm trying to do is make it feel like there's actually these mechanical elements to it that are functional. So that gives it sort of a conviction or believability. And like I said, there's common ones I put on all the different characters. Put a bit of shadow here. And they often wear these scarves. Of course, they can't be too long because that would be dangerous. You don't want to get it caught in the propeller. But it gets cold when you're flying around at altitude, so they're very practical elves. They need to have consideration of the temperature. He's got a kind of bag he's carrying here. Got little shoulder guards, which are going to protect them if they bump into something. That's the one on the other side. And then they've got these glide gloves, I call them, and they're almost got fins on them. They can use them to steer. And then there's some kind of padding. I use the sketch just as a starting point. I don't really worry about following it too exactly. But I just use it as a structural guide. And then I just build on top of it and have fun. Each one is kind of a variation, it's like variations on a theme. So I've got the basic elements. I try to make it convincing, like I said, but then I kind of vary it. And they have these, they're like a long tunic. It's almost like medieval. It's not really a dress. It's not meant to be a dress. It's meant to be like a long tunic. And then again, because this is like an activity, I've got sort of knee pad-like things here. I got boots that are impact resistant, and these are like extra little fins that some of them have, not all of them, but when they would be flying in horizontally, these would help them trim their flight. And then at the front, they have almost like studs, so that if they landed on something like a tree or whatever, these are meant to help grab on, give them traction. And as I say, I'm talking about the different kind of mechanical components to these. Let's draw the other leg. I'm doing this one kind of a little bit loose, like some of them I draw much more, maybe carefully, in a tighter style. This one's a little bit looser. I'm leaving some gaps in the line work. But I'm still trying to make it look consistent, that it's the same as on the other side. Let's give him a bit more of a smile. There, that's a little friendlier. Just adjusting the cheekbone there to make it a little more pleasant looking. And let's add this in, and then would the other one show? Maybe a little bit here. Okay, let's get up here and finish this part. This would be one of the fins, adjustment fins. And then the one on the other side would be just coming here, with just visible a little bit. Oops, looks like I smudged it. Anyway, we can work with that. I am using this marker, which it's kind of a fountain pen marker type deal, but it's a little smudgy if you're not careful. So I try to draw from right to left because I'm left-handed. And these would be like seam lines on this helmet that are kind of like panels of metal. All right, we're going to get this in. I'm adding some kind of little extra attachment point here. These would be rivets. This could be like a filling port for the fuel. And let's just quickly get some texture on this tunic. A bit scuffed his knees there because he's been flying and landing. Takes a toll, you know. Let's balance this out. Be also scuffed in the front of his boots where he's, again, taking the impact of landing on multiple tree branches, landing sites, and various things like that. These are a couple extra running lights that maybe switch on at night. Kind of like, you know how you see on trucks, you have running lights. They're not the main illumination, but they just help add the visibility, I guess, make you know that it's a truck. Like if you're driving and you see them at night in the distance, 3 lights. So it's that kind of idea. What we got here, we've got his hand and his thumb. His gloves there. All right, now let's finish this off and then we'll throw some color on there. Some kind of drive shaft here that goes to this prop. Like I said, I'm kind of inking this one a little bit more informally just because I'm making a video. It's not quite as dialed in as some of them I do, but these would be the vertical stabilizers. And this would be the horizontal fin that it's like the elevator on a, on a traditional aircraft that we know. It would be like the horizontal elevator, stabilizer, elevator, and this would be the rudder. Maybe it's got an adjustable part. A few more rivets. And let's get some quick color on here. Sometimes I just do a fun thing where I have like some streamers. They're kind of, they like displaying their tribal flags. So I've got my colored pencils here. And I need like a dark color. Here's tunic. Let's get some color on his scarf. Let's go yellow. Is it smudging my marker a little bit? Let's try a different yellow. And then we'll use a gray. Let's get some so dark blue on these. They're almost like leggings. Want some color variety, and then I guess we'll go with first of all, put a little more brown on here. Get a bit of silvery blue on these boots. I'm just using some simple basic colors here. Trying to keep this one simple. Let's make it like these are almost leather gloves. Kind of like a thick leather protective gloves that they would wear when they're flying around, I could say. Just to add a little more dark shadows with the blue. It's going to be kind of some kind of dents, you know. Hasn't cleaned his helmet. It's a little rough. He's been flying in all kinds of atmospheric conditions. Let's get some color over here. Make this little bag red. Bit of color. Same with the belt. They're colorful creatures. Sort of not known if that what age they are. They could be kids, but they're not really kids. They're indeterminate. They're just magical creatures but they're not the cutesy elves that you typically see. They're not supposed to be like all smiley, cutesy type creatures. They're friendly, but they're going about their business in a serious way. And let's get some color over here. I think maybe some red, a bit of yellow. They probably would have colorful just so that they can be seen. And let's put a bit of blue here. Lastly, we're going to get some shadow in here, just to give some volume to it. This would be a bit of a shadow on the ground, just to give some contact, give it some weight, have it fade out, but just to give it some solidity. And that's almost it. I'm going to just add in And there we go. There's a wind elf, home from his mission. He's standing there bravely, waiting for his next flight. Thanks for watching.